Welcome back. Welcome back. Good afternoon. I'm Jason Medlock, and welcome to the expansion of consciousness. We have a very, very special guest tonight. But before we get to that, we've spent a lot of time on this show talking about how to improve yourself, different ways to experience meditation, different techniques, tapping, using a number of modalities to improve your life, helping with mood swings, helping with depression, all types of things. But tonight, we'll be focusing on health and wellness by the fabulous, fabulous Annie Delre. I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce her name, but we're going to bring Annie on, and she is absolutely fabulous, guys. And we're going to learn a whole lot about health and wellness, and about how we can use different techniques to keep our bodies and our minds tuned up in shape. But Annie Delre is a national board certified health and wellness coach who has worked with hundreds of clients to help them achieve a life of confidence, wellness, and success. Her mission is to empower all women to be strong, independent, and confident. Along with multiple certifications, she's earned a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in integrative wellness coaching. Her master's capstone project was titled Health Coaching as an Effective Tool for Managing Stress and Anxiety. Annie is certified in multiple modalities: integrative wellness coaching, life success coaching, neuro-linguistic programming, which is NLP, which I love, clinical hypnotherapy, and I'm a hypnotherapist as well. So we're going to have a great conversation, and emotional freedom technique. Did I say EFT earlier? This is awesome. Originally from New Jersey, she now calls beautiful San Diego, California, her home. But without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring on Annie. Hey there, Annie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm going to tease you a little bit. I saw you in the background when the intro came on, and you was like, "Yeah, let's get this
Oh,
thing going."
I thought you were looking at me playing with my hair too. I was like, okay. Yes.
So how you doing? I mean, there are a lot of different. We have a lot of different commonalities, and I just enjoy having conversations with people that do the same thing, or we're similar in what we want to give back to people and what we want to coach and teach about. And your background is just so interesting, and I just love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, certified as a health and wellness coach. But before you did that,
Mhm.
you were going to school, learning all these disciplines, getting doing your master's, your capstone project.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what you wanted to do. You got the bachelor's degree in psychology, the master's in integrative wellness and coaching. Talk to the audience about uh, something happened before all of this took place. Something shifted you
Right.
and moved you in this direction, and we want to know that story. What happened?
Okay. Well, and I think most mental health care professionals can relate. Growing up in a dysfunctional family.
Yeah,
When
yeah, you got to
or
do it.
even if it wasn't in your household, in some
Yes.
type of environment like that. Um, and I have 5 siblings, so there's 6 of us. So imagine a house with 6 kids running around, right?
A lot of different
Uh,
personalities.
that is such a beautiful way to say it. That's how I started studying people because it doesn't
Wow.
matter that you all grew up in the same house.
Wow. Wow.
Um, so yeah, that was definitely piquing my interest. I'm like, "Whoa, people are wild. I need to understand this more."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So wow. So actually you kind of looked at, hey, I grew up like this. And some people grow up and their parents have certain diseases, and that's what drives them to want to be a doctor,
Yeah.
or drives them to want to if a loved one is in jail, they're gonna grow up to be a lawyer because they don't want anyone have to go through that again. But you chose that route. You were studying siblings and studying family dynamics. And so that was an interesting route to take, and not like other people have maybe have taken a different route. So when you when you said to yourself, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to grow myself and live my life. What were the things you were saying to yourself? What were the steps you were taking to get
Mhm.
ready for psychology, and so forth?
I think first I got clear on my why, which is something I have all my clients do when we talk about goals, but the
Hmm.
why, and it has to be strong enough in order to succeed, right?
Yes.
So my sisters are twins. They were born when I was 12 years old.
Hmm.
And when I say I'm obsessed with these gals, I mean the word obsessed was invented for my feelings towards these human beings. So they were born and I was like, how can I be a role model? What can I do better? What how can I make their life easier? Pretty much
Yes.
that was the question. How can I make their life easier? Um so my why, right, was I want to go to school. I want to inspire them. I want them to know that even if your parents don't pay for school, you can go. I want them to know about scholarships. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I want them to know that if they do want to be a stay-at-home mom, that is acceptable. College isn't for everyone, but showing them it is possible. That was the a big influence was wanting to be there for them. And I don't know if I'm going too off with this question, but I believe it may touch on this is the difference between therapy and coaching. So when I was in psychology, they really focus on therapy, which makes sense, right? That's not like a foreign concept of why would they do that. But what I learned is the differences of therapy, and you may know this, but I'm just going to say because other people are listening, right? So um, therapy is coping with the present because you're healing from the past. You're focusing on the past, you're unpacking it. I think everyone needs a therapist at one point in their life. I think therapy is an amazing field. But the difference is coaching, you're talking about the present and more importantly, the future.
Yes.
And I'll even stop clients if they tell a story for 2 to 3 minutes. I'll gently stop them and I'll say, I appreciate the background, but what did you learn from this? And what are we
Mm,
doing next?
mm.
In a gentle way. I give them the heads up in the beginning that I may do that, just to share that.
So, but your background is so diverse. I mean,
Mhm.
coaching. I mean, you use it as an effective tool for managing stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
You also use health and wellness in different aspects to improve a person's life. NLP, and I know that NLP is heavy. That means that you really know how to use the language. You really know how to say things in a way that clients, fall in love with you, or
Mhm.
fall in love with
Thank you.
your work. So NLP is very, very awesome, and we're going to get to that in clinical hypnotherapy, EFT. So when you
Ooh.
speak about, yeah, you know what I
Mhm.
mean. So when you speak
Yes.
about therapy, I'm like, okay, which modality is she talking about?
Oh, just the differences as because
Yes.
a lot of times when people study psych, they're like, "Okay, go get your master's in counseling. Now it's time to get your license as a therapist," right?
Mhm.
And I realized although that's an amazing field, that's not the population I wanted to serve at that time. I wanted to
Yeah.
serve with the people who were more focused on the future. So I think that's what led me in my studies. It was first like, let me understand humans. I just want to know the psyche. What's going on?
I
And then the
know.
next is, well, of course, you have the same drive. I'm sure these are passions. This isn't just
Yes.
something that we were like, oh, this is cool.
Let's talk about integrative wellness coaching. Tell us about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion around it, but the simplest way that I set it up is discussing the wellness wheel. Some people know it as the wheel of life. And think of a pizza pie. Okay, so pie, and then the literal slices. Woo! So this is financial, environmental, relationships, um, physical, and realizing that we are mind, body, and soul. There is more than just our physical body. There is more than just our mental health. They're all wrapped up together. I don't even remember the original question. Do you see me over here?
No, I was trying to give you the spotlight a little bit. We were talking about integrative wellness, and
Oh,
and just just give us how do you use it when you're coaching people?
Mhm.
and what should people know about integrative wellness coaching?
Okay, so the idea that there's multiple areas in life,
Hmm.
and that's a beautiful thing because usually when you're struggling, you're only thinking this one thing matters.
Yes.
So I have them take a score in the beginning, either 0 to 10, 10 being optimal wellness, you're doing amazing, and they score each section. And the clarity alone is a game changer. That
Yeah.
exercise alone. Um, and then they realize, hey, I'm not ones and everywhere. I thought I was, but you know what? I have a good relationship with my kids. I have a healthy relationship with my parents, and I have a good church community. I'm just using an example. Not all my clients have a church community. Just, but they're suffering with financial challenges, and that's all they see. Oh, finances are ruining everything. They're ruining everything, but they don't realize. But you have a support system, and some people scored 0.
Right. And a lot of people think it's finances, 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 and what can I do? And can you coach me? And can you get my mindset right? But then sometimes you could have uh, subconscious money blocks.
Ugh.
You could have,
Always,
yeah, you
yes.
could have. There's so many other things that may be causing the issue. You think it's like, no, the issue isn't money. The issue is the fact that, maybe you're depressed and you have an oil spill of things happening in your life.
Mm,
And money is just happen to be one of them. And I like what you said about, scoring your clients, having them do the scores, because we have to um, come up with creative ways to show our clients, hey, you're maybe not hitting on all the cylinders you think you're hitting on, because if I can put these lists of questions in front of you, and you answer them honestly, we start to get a picture of where the pain is, where the disruption in your life is, whether it was a past life
mm.
or whether it's a current life. So I just like all types of coaching and the way people use different techniques. And I'm dying to get into neuro-linguistic. I'm because to I want to do it, but then when I became a quantum healing hypnosis
Mhm.
practitioner, I said, well, why do I need NLP? And I started reading books on NLP, and I'm like, oh my God, NLP is really what it's an amazing, amazing modality, amazing tool. Talk to us a little
Yes.
bit about how you started that journey and what made you go that way.
So, actually, funny enough, as you mentioned before, I'm from Jersey, and I moved to California. And why I moved here was because I got into a master's program for speech pathology.
Yes.
And I thought it's a safe career. Everyone needs speech therapists will be needed as far as I know forever. You could get a safe job, you'll be a coach on the side, coaching will be your side project. Obviously, I dropped that program and got a master's in something else. But even then, and that's on a superficial level of look at the importance of speech and how people perceive you and even how you deliver yourself. And then I guess I realized more of the, let's say, woo woo, right? That's what some
Yeah.
people call it,
Yes.
of, oh my gosh, you got to speak to the unconscious mind. Wow, your conscious mind is this like, is not as important. Or the importance of let's take things from the unconscious mind into the conscious mind. That's what I should say.
Mhm.
But understanding the effect of it, like the importance, and even teaching that, allowing people to know, like, guess what? You think you're functioning from your conscious mind. You think you're like making these decisions, and I'm sorry, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's just not the truth. And I won't say that I get into it a lot with majority of my clients, but the idea of past lives, and this may be generational. So this may be something that you're holding on to that is hard to even unpack because it's not like, oh, this childhood trauma happened. So let's talk about this. It's like, no, my family grew up in the Great Depression, and I didn't realize that this is leading to my scarcity mindset around money, or just a random example, right?
When
Just
you say
pulling it up.
scarcity mindset around money, it
Yeah.
could be something as small as, let's say you guys are middle class when you're growing up,
Mhm.
and you wanted this or you wanted that, and you're like, we don't have any money for that. We have money for this, money for that. Those are money blocks. Those are subconscious money blocks that you take into
Mm,
um, your programming. And as you get older, and it could be a number of things, hey, I'm not going to buy these expensive shoes. I mean, my mom taught me, or my dad taught me, just buy you a good pair of shoes.
good
It
pair.
was a good advice, but it programmed you to be limited into thinking subconsciously that I shouldn't make a lot of money. 150,000, $200,000. That's too much for me. And you
Mhm.
develop all of these hangups about money that you didn't even know you had, but that was programmed when you were young.
Totally. And the idea of your unconscious mind is 100% open between birth and 7 years old.
Yes.
And
You-
parents all the time the kids don't know. They don't know what I'm saying. They're so young. They're not going to remember this.
That's not true.
Zzz, it's downloaded immediately into their brains. But no one
Exactly.
taught them for the most part. You don't know what you don't know.
Mhm. Well, one of the things when you think about it, the
Mhm.
way the Western culture is set up, religion is really big, and religion is more of a following, rules, of engagement on how we pray and how go through
Mhm.
church service. But spirituality is more of a relationship with God, just a relationship, one-on-one relationship, and just an openness. So, we
Mhm.
grow up with all these things around us that our subconscious mind picks up. Whatever our
Yeah.
environment is, that's what we grow up learning. And to unlearn those things and create new habits, you need a coach. You got to have someone that can really, really unpack with you and help you make that switch and move into your best life.
Yes. And it's funny you say that because I grew up in a strict Catholic home.
Hmm.
So that says a lot about a person's childhood when you grow up in any strict religion, I think. Whether that person's a practicing person as an adult or not, just the fact that you grew up with these rules, you grew up with these expectations. Sundays you spent at mass, like that's a certain person or scenario that's happened. So, or the idea of like, yeah, you need to go to church to be with God. Well, spirituality is like God's everywhere. I'm going on a nature walk, which that's how I view it. So I'm not saying it like, oh, these people like
Just wide open. So
it's
let
just yeah.
so let's share stories now.
Okay.
I know that you're a clinical hypnotherapist.
Hmm.
I'm a hypnotherapy practitioner and QHHT practitioner. And what are some of the talk to us about hypnotherapy? What are some of the things that you've experienced with clients, and some of the ways that it has
Hmm.
helped clients? Maybe change their life, maybe get in touch with a loved one, or talk to us about the way you use it and the success you've had with it.
I would say on a more somber note, I would say one of the most significant ones that stuck out was a man remembering his sexual abuse
Yes.
and me being the first one to hear about it or even having that unlocked. Um, and he sobbed, and then he told me, I've never felt better in my life.
Mm,
And obviously, you hold space for the person sobbing. I don't want to act like I just brushed over that. You hold
right.
space for them, but I wasn't rushing his feelings. And
Right.
this is a little like, I guess, logistics part of hypnosis. It's so hard to put into a timing specifically because you don't know what's going to happen. So, does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've experienced that as well. If something especially traumatic were to come up.
Yes. 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 And
Hmm.
more so using quantum healing hypnosis, you get everything. But we spend a lot of time 2 hours before the actual session. We just spend that time interviewing. And I know in regular hypnosis, interviewing is the most important part about it. That's the most important thing to a person being able to undergo in hypnosis. The interview process, you have to really, really, as the practitioner, really, really, really understand the issue, but make them comfortable with you, making
Yes.
the client comfortable so that they can go into trance. And for the audience out there, if you ever consider using a hypnotherapist, really, really, really go into the session knowing that I cannot wait to
Yes.
experience hypnosis. You have to set your intentions. Number one. Number two, you have to trust, trust, trust. Number three, you have to
Mm.
visualize, visualize, visualize. And you, before you know it, you'll go into trance. But what I found, Annie, is that when I'm using quantum healing hypnosis, I'm able to dig so deep once I get the person into the somnambulistic state.
Mhm.
And when I can get them there, I can access the subconscious mind and I can access previous lives. Now, when I do the past lives, I'm really trying to figure out where the issue was, because your subconscious will show you what it feels is appropriate for you for this particular lifetime. It will not show you anything that's not appropriate. So when you are delving through these past lives, you have to wonder, okay, what do they mean? And so the first question I ask when I move the client from the past lives and I call on the higher self,
Mhm.
okay, why did you show Annie the past life of her um, working in the farm with her mother? Because Annie needed to know what teamwork meant, what family meant. The client actually talks back to you, but it's not their voice. It's it's an intelligent, brilliant voice that comes through. So I've had a lot of
Mm.
different experiences. I mean, one of my clients, when I brought her down from the cloud,
Yeah.
when I brought her down, I said, "Look below you. What do you see? What do you see?" And when she got on the ground, she was running. She said there were men chasing her, and they're trying to get me. And she was like in the bed, like,
Oh my goodness, I bet, right.
that's one of my funny stories, you know.
Oh my goodness, and you're like, "Tell me everything." But
It's amazing. Hypnotherapy is amazing. That's why I was dying to know the experiences that you had with it, but it's really amazing. And on the flip
yeah.
side, I get people calling, and this is for the audience as well. People call me for sessions, and I know you've gone through this too, and they want 1, 2, 3 sessions. No, that's not enough. You need at least 10 to 12 sessions to clear up weight loss
Mm.
issues, to clear up smoking, to clear up whatever the impediment or the hangup is. You need a number of sessions if you're going to use hypnosis.
1,000%. And I compare it to people like, physical training. You wouldn't just go once and build your muscle. You're not gonna get toned doing it one time. And they're neural pathways, like, this is something we haven't tapped into before, so it's not gonna happen like this. And, I know I'm going back a little bit, but I 100% agree, the whole idea of bonding and feeling comfortable with your practitioner, that is that's 100%. I will be honest, there's one client that I did turn down, but because of their the this isn't going to sound great. I don't know how to articulate it, but because of their darkness and anger,
Yeah.
I and their anger, and I didn't want to invite that into my space. And setting that appropriate boundary, I gave them resources for people, other hypnotherapists, and also some therapists if they were open. But it's unethical, I think, to take people just for money.
It
And
yeah, it
yeah.
is. And Julia Cannon, and obviously, everyone knows who Dolores Cannon is, who coined, not who created the QHHT, the quantum healing, her technique. And I learned from Julia. And I've watched a number of training videos from Dolores Cannon, and she would not take people who were schizo. She because you couldn't get them to be at a relaxed state. She didn't take dementia patients, Alzheimer's patients, because you have to hear our voice when we're talking to you while you're in this relaxed state. And she
Mhm.
didn't take people who came across, just like you said, Annie, overly rude and aggressive. She didn't take them. And I've had a case where I've had someone call me, and they
I
were,
can't wait to hear
I
this.
know, they they
Okay.
they they were ADHD.
Okay.
And I said, okay, okay, okay. So I took on the client and came in and we sat down and I interviewed him. He could not stay on. He just couldn't stay focused on the interview. So I kept him for 2.5 hours. I'm like, I gotta get him to relax. So
Mm.
once I got done with the 2.5 hour interview, that's typically for left brainers, the left brain people, the people who need to know, okay, well, how's this going to work and how am I going to feel? The left brainers, Andy.
Totally, right. I want the measurable results,
You know what I
like,
mean? So,
yeah.
this guy, he was, just not attentive. So we started the session, and every few minutes, the ones that do that, and then they and scratching. He never let himself get into trance. So I stopped the session. I said, "Listen, I'm gonna refund you." I said, "But
Mm.
I'm gonna give you some things, some tools to use, and you do this for 2 weeks. If you feel like you're able to, you know, relax a little bit more, come back and see me." But he was not able to relax, and I just started to look at like different people, like you just said, that were angry, or if a person can't relax, it's not gonna work for you.
No, no, and I wish people understood, like, do you understand that anger is just sadness? I feel so sorry that you're, stuck in these bonds of anger or bondage of anger and not able to step into sadness. It's okay to be sad.
Yeah.
So, um, I know that wasn't exactly to your point, but just the idea of, certain populations and gently saying almost like the phrase of, I don't think you're ready for this. This isn't the
Yeah.
time for you. But I love that you also gave resources. Like, we love what we do, right? People aren't a paycheck. So you do want to help them, especially if they're suffering right there in front of you. I've had to do suicide assessments during it.
Wow. And
It
the audience may be wondering, oh no, I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, no.
The audience may be wondering, well, Jason, what did you give him? What or Annie, what do you give
Oh,
patients you
mhm.
can't work with? And for me, what I did was I gave him a incremental ramp up of meditation. I told him, I say, listen, this is what you do. And I wrote it down. I want you for 3 days to meditate for 5 minutes. I don't really meditate. I said, I know you don't, but just for five
I
minutes,
can
if you
see,
can,
right?
you know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
find some calmness for 5 minutes for 3 days. He says, okay. I said, now the next 3 days, go 7 minutes, go 10 minutes, go 12, and I said, this will help you start to be within yourself, start to get to know you, find a level of peace and quiet. I said, in 2 weeks, you could be up to 15 to 20 minutes. And if you're able to hold that level of serenity,
Great word.
then come back to see me. And I can guarantee you, I can get you the answers that you want, or I can bring the healing forth that you need.
Did he come back?
He did it. He said he was coming back, didn't see him. Didn't show back up. But he would email, "Hey, I'm working on this. I love this. I can't wait to get back to you."
Oh.
Didn't see him again.
Yeah, I have experienced that too, but and when I in my mind at first it would upset me, right? And not so
Mhm.
much like I was expecting that money, more of like, I can help. I promise I can help you. Just this let's do certain steps first. But then the idea of releasing it, like, it's just not their time. It's just not their time in this
Yeah.
journey, but I feel good that I gave the resources that I could.
So, and tell me this, what do you find the biggest wellness challenge to people? And in your opinion, how do they overcome it?
So, in a general idea,
Mhm.
asking for help. That is their problem. That
Yeah.
is,
The biggest challenge.
um, the biggest challenge, or even, I guess, if we were to talk about the step ahead,
Mhm.
ahead of that, acknowledging and accepting that it is a problem.
Right.
just acknowledging it. And then the step of reaching out for support and saying, this is a challenge. I'd like some help with it.
Mm.
I would say, and this is unconsciously, this is happening. I would say most people suffer with shame, and that's
Mm.
leading to all these other areas.
Yes.
But kind of like when someone says they're angry, they're not going to say my root cause is sadness. They're not going to say that, right? So shame, or you say I'm anxious, you're not going to admit it's shame that I haven't gone to the gym. It's shame that I haven't saved money for my kids' soccer cleats. Like the idea of shame. But what I usually, like, put all that aside, okay? I just did all that. But what I usually concentrate on with clients is confidence building.
Mm.
Confidence building, and I'll have them take the wellness wheel like I talked about. I'll have them pick their top 3 areas they struggle with. Then we'll start with the number 1. And then what I tell them is most of the time all of these areas bleed together, and it's starting with confidence that will allow it to spread into all these other things and lead to success.
Well, how do you build confidence?
So I like to do activities that are like this. Like if someone can do it on the spot, I really want them to, or I'll assign homework and I'll
Mhm.
be like, I really encourage you to do it once we hang up the phone.
Mhm.
So I have 3 really quick confidence building things, and someone can do it right now. Like someone can do it once they listen to this. So the first thing is take note of all the compliments you've been given. Friends, family, coworkers, strangers. For my clients who don't have a support system and they say, Annie, I don't have anyone to go to, or excuse me, someone says I've never gotten a compliment before. I say go to a family or friend and you ask them, what's one of my strengths? And then you take out your phone and you put it in your phone. Some people like physically writing, but most likely you'll have your phone on you at all times. Or
Right.
so whipping out those compliments. This is awesome for when you're not feeling good about yourself, when you just took a hit to the gut, when you just got bad news, someone just gave you sass, right? You weren't feeling good about yourself. And you take out your phone and you see these compliments and you're like, I'm amazing. Like people love me. Oh my gosh, that one person that was mean, or like, okay, my boss wasn't nice, but I'm an awesome mom. I'm a good friend. I'm a good community member. Like da da
Yes.
da da da. So compliments, right?
Yes.
Next, sorry, am I just talking over you? Am I the rudest?
No, you're fine. You're talking to the audience. I mean, we're excited
Okay.
to hear every word you have to say.
Okay, cool. Uh, the next one is achievements. The
Yes.
same idea of building this confidence. Like, and usually when people hear achievements, they're like, "Oh, but I didn't graduate from college. I didn't buy my first house. I didn't get married. I didn't have a child." But achievements is big and small. Did you speak up in a meeting and you got out of your comfort zone? That's an achievement. You achieved something that you didn't do before.
Mm.
So achievements, that's another one.
Okay.
And whoa, oh yeah. And the third is writing a letter to your future self. I'm sure you've heard of this activity before.
We did I have a group.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a show here pretty soon. And it was a manifesting group for 1 year. It was a book club, and then we began to turn it into a manifesting club. And we manifested for 365 days. There are some awesome stories that are going to be coming out. We're going to do
Yes.
some interviews, and we're going to write a book over this group. But one of the things that we did was scripting, and that was just what you said. We were writing letters to our subconscious mind as if we had already accomplished the things that we were looking to do. And we would
Yes, I
write
could
one
just hug
letter a week.
you.
Yes.
Yes. I'm so proud that you did this. I'm so excited that you still have these amazing relationships. It's awesome that you're now a published author. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And that's really big. Scripting is really big. And I learned the term
Mhm.
from a young lady who came on my show last year. Her name is Linda Stiludi. And she came on. She was awesome. I mean, when we got done with her show and did the show, we had like 15,000 views. So she came on and she did a great job, but she
Yes.
talked to the audience about scripting and how to use um, writing and writing in the future tense as if it's already done. For instance, I've even written, yeah, I'm sitting here reading, my third New York Times best-selling book. I cannot thank you enough, source. I cannot thank my guardian angels. I cannot thank my spirit guides enough. And for
Mhm.
all the people who helped me get to this moment. And I got to go to London next week to speak to, and I'm just writing stuff that as if it's happened, and it's called scripting, and it's fun. And a lot of things that we did throughout the year when we were scripting, a lot of
Mhm.
those things happened.
I have found journals and been like, this happened. My vision boards. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's a year later and 75% of this board happened.
Yes, vision board parties. We learned that in the law of attraction in The Secret. That's when I first knew what vision boards were. My sister has done a vision
Yeah.
board party every year, right after New Year's. Every year for about 7 years, we've had a huge vision board party. But I want to show you something right quick. I want you to tell
Yeah.
me, who is this?
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't want us to run out of time, but talk to us about this fabulous website and the things that you're doing, the
Okay.
lives that you're touching. Give us the go ahead. Give us everything.
Sure. So I have worked with hundreds of men and women, but I was gonna say I prey on. What is wrong with me? I I market mostly to women. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. Where did that come from?
you're fine.
Like, was that in my unconscious mind? That's terrible. Um, I got distracted from the movie. I'm like, this is good. No.
Right.
Um, I do one-on-one coaching and group coaching. I actually just announced to people that I'm doing a April group coaching for women. Um, and I just got really heavy into public speaking and putting myself out there. Well, hence podcast, right?
Mhm.
And what else? Oh, and I'm a recent author. Yeah, I published a book, and it was for young women in high school.
Wow. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Um, I don't know if it's appropriate to say because it's called SHIT. I wish I knew in high school.
Oh, it's very appropriate to say. The name of it is Shit I Knew in High School. I wish I knew in high school. I mean, hey,
Yes.
some of the titles, and I learned this by
Hmm.
working with Jack Canfield. And he, obviously they put out a number of New York Times bestsellers, and the title has to grab the attention. It has to be an awesome title. And I often tell my guests when we start talking about their books, because most of the guests have books,
Hmm.
but I often tell them, I have a book coming out, The Expansion of Consciousness, the Infinite Abilities We Possess from Within. And these titles mean a whole lot. So I love your title. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know if you were like that curse word, like, oh,
No, no, we're not
Annie.
on. This is not a religious show. Although
Okay.
people try to pigeonhole it to be, and it's not. It's about using spiritual modalities. It's about how we use them to coach, how we use them to
Mm.
coach people in business, how we use them to improve our daily lives, how we can overcome depression. So we're not, Pastor Ann and Pastor Jason. No.
No. No.
So you have master classes here as well. Talk to us about that as well.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love that you're looking at this. Heck yeah. I actually just did this class last night and then I
Oh,
made a site for it and I put up the recording. So if you like were to scroll a little down, the entire class is there. Or it's just a little more up. Sorry.
okay.
I'm telling you to like go up and then down. But there's the recording. And think of confidence and goal setting one-on-one. It is nothing too heavy. It's yeah, kind of like the basics and just getting people excited again about setting goals. And I do share the confidence tips that I gave
Well,
because Mhm.
well, let's let the audience hear it.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
there we go.
Okay. So, actually,
We're going to start
Oh, but it's
with
57
hello,
minutes.
welcome.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
So
It's really long.
No,
But if you want to take a random part,
so excited you're here. Don't feel pressure to stay on camera. Whatever you're comfortable with. If you do want to stay on camera, great, because then I can read your facial expressions and know that everyone.
and we'll go right here in the
No,
middle.
honestly,
cool.
to be honest and vulnerable with you ladies, I think one of the big challenges that it's going to present is sometimes because I love what I do, I can get really excited. And I know that if a challenge isn't going to be not pursuing these speaking opportunities in person, the challenge is going to be not thinking about it while I'm on vacation.
We did a we
So
went over
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was teaching about SMART goals
Mhm.
and I had time left. So I was like, all right, who wants to talk about their goals? Let's do it right now. We're doing
Right.
the format. And they're like, okay, a girl raised her hand. And I was like, what are the challenges? Okay, how are we going to fix this? I just like went into it because that's what happens when you love what you do. You're like, all right, I have time. Here we go.
So I want the audience to know how to find you. www.annie
Delre.
Delre.com, AnnieDelre.com. And don't mistake Annie's cheerful and jubilant personality. She's deep. She has credentials. She has worked with several hundred clients, and she knows her stuff. But it's okay to come on and be jazzy and be fun, but understand that Annie's very, very skilled. And if there are women out there that really, really are struggling, maybe struggling with self-confidence, or maybe struggling with different things in their life, and maybe trying to build themselves with mindful practices, go to Annie's website, www.anniedelre.com. Okay. So tell us, and I said mindful a minute ago. Why is building mindfulness practice so important?
Well, I said the phrase earlier of you don't know what you don't know. So
Right.
building the mindfulness is the first step to behavior change.
Yeah.
So I tell people first you educate yourself, then you build that mindfulness, and then it equals behavior change. But if you didn't even realize it was a problem, how the heck are you going to work on it?
Yeah.
Like I'll give it. This is kind of a silly example, but I worked with one man, and he was a driver and worked crazy hours, and he was there talking to me about anxiety. All right, and his extreme anxiety and panic attacks. And I asked him, of course, about his lifestyle. Come to find out, this man is drinking 5 energy drinks a day.
Oh God.
I asked him how his heart didn't explode. First of all, I asked him how his heart did not explode, and then I shared that this is 1000% relating to the anxiety. There's other things, right? I don't want to say that's the only thing, but he didn't even realize that was insane because people in his field do that. It's just common practice to do it. So something such as that of what are you drinking and eating? Are you putting a pound of sugar in your coffee in the morning and then you crash and you don't know why? Well, there's a pound of sugar in your coffee.
Wow.
And I did want to give this tip because you talked about meditation, and I love that you're being realistic with clients to be like, start slow. All right. No one said go be the Buddha overnight.
Yes.
A lot of my clients, when I teach meditation, they're like, I tried, especially my ADHD clients. I can't. I'm not good at it. I always wander.
Right.
So I teach the idea of actually the minute that you realize your mind is wandering, you're practicing mindfulness. So congratulations, you're doing exactly what you're there to do. And it lets people off the hook, I think. It allows them to be more gentle with themselves.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm a transcendental meditator, TM. And the minute you close your eyes and you start to think about the day, the job, the kids, you're like, I'm not meditating. Oh, that's exactly what we want. We want you to just be. Just let it all happen. And that's a part of it. And the more you have other things that come into your mind, the more the meditation is working, because the more stress bubbles you're releasing just by these things. And sooner or later, it will be peace. But never fight thoughts coming in. Let it be. So,
Yeah. Being
yes,
in the acceptance phase, and that's healthy for all areas. Let's be in the acceptance stage. That
exactly.
would be beautiful.
Exactly. Well, we're running up. Our time is
Okay.
almost up. And I say this to all the clients because I want to go longer, but I've learned about that YouTube algorithm. And when you're around that, 35, 45-minute range, you got a chance for this video to be out there. But when it
Mhm.
goes past that, people scroll by and it says an hour or 50 minutes. Oh, they're not going to watch a whole lot of it. But yeah, can you leave the audience, Annie, with any tips, any more tips? Because you've given a lot tonight, but any thing that can help, or maybe tell them how to get with you, how they can contact you again. Uh,
Mhm.
just pardon words.
Um, we didn't really talk about this, but I do think it's a very important message is just being in the just understanding what you can and can't control. So you can't control how your partner acts, but you can control working on communication yourself. Or you can't control your boss, but you can control where you go to work. And I mean that as in ask for help. What are the
Mm.
things you can control? And it's time to release the things you can't. So I mean, kind of like the acceptance stage. Um, and when you realize what you can control, get your butt on it. Like it's great to see what you may want to work on, but then do it. Right.
Yes.
Um, so I think that would be it. I just hope people understand the difference of that, and that alone will help with stress and anxiety and that comparison and confidence.
Wow. Okay, well, it was a pleasure having you here. I don't want you to go anywhere. I'm gonna move you to the back. I'm gonna finish this
Okay.
show off, and I gotta talk to you a little bit. Okay, so
Okay.
you stay right there. What a beautiful spirit. What a wonderful young lady who is very accomplished, very joyful, and very spirited, but very, very talented. Helping you understand work-life balance and how to accomplish it. Uh, working with teenagers who may be overwhelmed in college or school and helping you navigate that, building your mindfulness, helping with low self-confidence. These are some of the things that Annie brings to the table as a health and wellness coach, as a hypnotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist, as an NLP practitioner, as a EFT practitioner. I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to look up Annie and support her. And I have a lot of different professionals on the show who work with a lot of different modalities, who work in business, who work in a number of areas, and it's for you. It's for you to pick your flavor, to grow yourself, to find different ways or different techniques to move you to the optimal level of your life or to repair things in your life. And that's what we do here. Remember, you can watch our show live on YouTube just by typing in at Expansion of Consciousness. But do not forget to hit like and do not forget to subscribe. That's how the channel keeps going. Until then, I thank you very much for coming to watch the show. And we love you. And we will see you the next time. Good night.